It is officially intern season, and with that, I wanted to share some things that I wish I knew or did as an intern, and some valuable advice I think for current interns as well. Hi, I'm Laura, a PM working in tech, and on my channel I cover my life working as a PM, my life working in tech, and other computer science related advice. I also wanted to quickly pop in and say thank you so much for hitting 1,000 subscribers on my channel this previous week. This is a super exciting milestone for me, and I'm thrilled that people are enjoying the content that I'm putting out there and sharing with folks. I'm really looking forward to growing this channel even more in the coming months and years, so I always appreciate any feedback you might have. I'll get back to the video, but I did want to say thank you for everyone's support, and I'm super appreciative of all the time that everyone has spent watching my videos and enjoying my content. I hope to keep things pretty short and snappy, so even if you're not an intern, there may be some valuable advice here that you find helpful. Let's jump into the first thing that I wish I did better. Better document what I've done over the course of my internship. 10 to 12 weeks really isn't a long time when you're thinking about it in the long term. However, over the course of internship, there are tons and tons of things that happen in a short 10 to 12 weeks that you quickly forget all the minute details and things that you might have done at one point in time. When you're starting down the bottom of the barrel for your internship and you're forced to write a performance review for yourself though, you'll probably wish that you did a better job of documenting, and I was definitely feeling this way. As an Explorer intern at Microsoft, I was splitting my time between software engineering and product management, and as a result, it kind of felt like each day or week I was doing something completely new and different from the previous week, and there are just a lot of things to keep track of and remember for my performance review at the end of the internship. This can be literally anything that you think might be helpful to highlight the things that you've done. It can be small, like learning a new technology and getting up off the ground pretty quickly, or writing larger design documents, specs, someone you've collaborated with, or even a cool intern challenge that you might have done really well in over the summer. These are all important details that help you highlight and showcase the things that you're capable of in just a short 10 to 12 weeks, while also picking up and onboarding onto the team, and a host of other challenges that are really just time boxed into one short internship. Even if your company doesn't require a formal performance review, it's still going to be handy for a couple of reasons. You're probably going to want to have a conversation with your manager about the good work that you've done. You'll probably want to highlight this onto your resume, and you'll also probably want to populate this onto your LinkedIn as well. So just a couple of different avenues in which this information is going to be helpful. The second thing that I wish I did better was exploring other teams across the company and having a better understanding of the different software or services or products that the company offers. One team at an incredibly large company like Microsoft is definitely not going to be indicative of your experience working with every team, every engineer, or every PM. If you're interested in getting a return offer to the same company, there's also a pretty good chance that you actually won't get placed onto the same team just due to budget constraints or headcount or whatever it may be. Or in the chance that you don't like your team, then having the opportunities to explore and see what else is out there is going to be really handy and helpful as well. Due to some special circumstances, I had an unusual return offer experience, but nevertheless, I still wish I did explore more teams because there's just a lot of cool things out there that I wish I got the chance to explore and better understand before returning to Microsoft or deciding on Microsoft as the first company that I wanted to start my career at. Speaking from experience, there are a few opportunities for interns to connect with full-time employees from across the company and from different teams, but those are pretty limited and few and far between. Big companies often have a variety of products or services that are pretty less well known, and they're not really the flagship of that company. For example, when you think of Microsoft, the top hitters are probably going to be Bing, Azure, Microsoft Gaming / Xbox, and also the Office suite, but I can promise you that there are a lot of other cool teams working on really cool things. I know cool isn't going to be the best descriptor, but I obviously can't go into tons of detail here either. The key thing to note here though is that if you're going to spend the time to network efficiently and network effectively. I have a couple other videos about networking and setting up one-on-ones with folks. Realistically, not everyone is going to have the time, interest, or expertise to speak with you and answer all of your questions, so you may have to reach out to a couple other folks as well to get the full story and picture of a particular team. The third thing is that I wish I was more proud of the work that I did as an intern and how much I learned over the course of a single summer. Oftentimes, intern projects aren't utilized past the lifespan of the internship itself, and it can be a little bit disheartening or demoralizing to see that your intern project gets discontinued, canceled, or that it was just a proof of concept. Honestly, the fact that you're able to transition from a week or two off of school into an internship, learn everything that you need to learn to successfully execute your project, and then present all of your findings at the end of it all is pretty impressive in and of itself. Industry throws a tons of things your way, even if at the end of it all, it doesn't feel like you've done or accomplished a lot. The soft skills are just as important as the technical skills, again, even if it doesn't feel that way. Give yourself a pat on the back for navigating a complex web of relationships and making your first foray into industry. The fourth and last thing I wish I did better as an intern, and even to an extent now, is to be a little bit less afraid to speak up in meetings and contribute. As an intern and student, the mistakes that you make are going to be easily forgiven or forgotten. Especially by the time you come back as a full-time employee, no one is going to hold a grudge against you for this one mistake or one dumb question you might have asked as an intern. And even then, there are no dumb questions. Even if you do ask what someone else may consider to be a dumb question, it may be the turning point in a conversation because everyone else took it for granted, or it may just profoundly clarify your understanding of the situation and add context. Both cases, these are equally as valid and equally as important. You're also going to be thrown into a ton of meetings just at the beginning of your internship to help you get up to speed with the context, the team, and the product or service that your team is working on, so don't be afraid to speak up and make sure that you understand what's going on. People can't read your mind and they also don't know how quickly you're picking things up, so people are just regurgitating information at you. There can be a lot of things that get missed or left off, and it's important to ask clarifying questions in those cases. Also, if you're sitting in an hour-long meeting your first week and there's just tons of buzzwords and things flying around that you don't understand, that's probably a good point to check in with yourself and ask, what question can I ask to help me clarify and better understand what's going on in this conversation? It's definitely no fun to just sit there for an hour and not understand a single word being said, and it can also be really important if it is relevant to your intern project and you just aren't catching or grasping. Granted, not every meeting is always going to be relevant, important to the success of your project, or be immediately relevant to you and your learning, but I think that the more you sit in the meetings, the more context you gather about the team, product, the service, and what have you, and you just get to learn more and form a broader knowledge base. The culture of learning never stops, and I think that's really important as an intern and your grad to be curious, ask questions, and figure out what you don't know in all these meetings. So ask those questions, be proactive, and clarify for yourself. That's a quick breakdown of the 4 different things that I wish I knew or did better as an intern. Leave a comment below if you have any other internship advice or questions as an incoming intern. As always, feel free to schedule a coffee chat with me at ak.ms/chatwithlaura, or continue the conversation on my Discord channel, which you can join using the link in the description box down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week for a brand new video. Bye.